A tale of homecoming and renewal. Misaki, a woman in her late 20s, was a career woman living in the hustle and bustle of the city. Chasing after her busy days, her communication with her family gradually ceased. One day, right after work, her phone rang. It was a familiar number from her parents' house. Hesitantly picking up the phone, she was told by her mother that her father was unwell. Misaki felt something crumble inside her and made a quick decision to return to her hometown. The hometown she visited for the first time in several years was vastly different from the scenery in her memory. The garden where she played as a child was covered in concrete, and the familiar smell of her house had faded. Her parents had aged, and they no longer had the same energetic appearance as before. Misaki felt her heart tighten at the change. Upon arriving at her parents' house, an awkward reunion began. Her mother busied herself with housework, and her father was lying on the living room. "It's been a long time, Misaki," her mother smiled, but her voice was tinged with fatigue. Her father smiled weakly and said, "Thank you for coming back." Misaki's heart warmed at those words. One evening, Misaki and her mother found themselves having dinner together. Her mother cautiously opened up. "Misaki, you were really busy back then. We were worried, but we didn't have the time to think about your feelings." "I'm sorry." Misaki was surprised. She had never expected her mother to apologize. "I'm sorry too. I was so caught up in my work that I neglected my family. It's been bothering me deep down." In that moment, the wall between them crumbled. Misaki took her mother's hand and cried, releasing the emotions she had been holding inside. The next day, Misaki had the opportunity to connect with her father as well. Her father sat in a chair in the garden and began to tell old stories. "When you were little, I really enjoyed watching you play in the garden. I can still picture that scene." Misaki listened to her father's story and realized how much she needed her family. Over the next few days, Misaki spent time with her parents and deepened her bond with her family. She looked through old albums with her mother and tended plants in the garden with her father. Misaki realized that unlike her lonely life in the city, there was warm family love here. As her stay came to an end, Misaki felt a renewed sense of gratitude. With her family bond strengthened once more, Misaki decided to return to Tokyo with a new determination. She planned to cherish her time with her family even in her busy days and never lose sight of what truly mattered. On the day she returned to Tokyo, Misaki said goodbye to her parents. "I'll be back soon," she said. Her mother smiled and replied, "I'll be waiting," and her father said, "Take care." As the scenery outside the Shinkansen window receded, Misaki silently renewed her determination. Family love and bonds had warmed Misaki's heart once more, and she was able to make a fresh start. To the readers, thank you for reading this story. Were you able to rediscover the importance of family bonds and love? In our busy lives, we sometimes lose sight of what is important. However, by taking a moment to stop and spend time with our loved ones and reflect on warm memories, we can feel a sense of fulfillment. I hope that you can spend wonderful times with the people you cherish and find happiness in your daily lives.